What we're going to discuss today is how the film can be decently structured, yet still bad. Hi, I'm Shannan E. Johnson, CEO of The Professional Pen, where we develop screenwriters from idea to pitch. Need help in your screenplay? Go to www.theprofessionalpen.com. Okay, first thing I want to start with is that this is supposed to be a thriller of some sort, whether you want to call it a crime thriller, a drama thriller, or some people are even putting it in like an erotica category. To me, there isn't enough sex or enough talk about sex for it to be in that category. But let's just quickly talk about some of the key things that are necessary to make it a thriller. 1, tension, stakes, danger, misdirects. Misdirects meaning we think that this person is the suspect or the killer or the bad guy, but we actually find out that it's someone else. Or we think this is a clue, but we actually realize it took us in the wrong direction, right? Also included in misdirects, complications, dead ends, moments that our protagonist has to prove they're smarter than the antagonist, which then takes us to a clear antagonist, someone that is going against what our protagonist is trying to do. Last but not least, we get a little bit of procedural beats, whodunit beats, because we need clues, breadcrumbs, investigation, in order for us to figure out what's really happening. So in this particular case, the goal is to prove Zaire's innocence. That's the goal. Therefore, the protagonist should be taking steps in order to do so. So now let's talk about why, even though there is a clear inciting incident, will you take my case? A clear debate section, should I take this case? A clear goal, yes, I'll take this case. Why is it that so many people think the movie is bad? Let's get into it. 1, lack of social proof. What we mean by social proof is you need to teach me anything that I need to know about our protagonist's skills, flaws, personality, already established wants, already established needs. So I know what that inner hole is that needs to be closed by the end of this journey, so that I can not only invest in this character, relate to this character, but also believe that this character can do the thing that you're telling me they can do. In this case, you want me to believe that MEA can win Zaire's case. But the only social proof that we get is the very bad accented Italian restaurant owner who says, "You're a good lawyer. You got my son off. I want you to take this case." Other than that, we have no actual proof that she is a good lawyer. It's a nice office. She's got nice suits. We see her looking through case files. But other than that, we don't really have any proof whether she's good at her job. So should we believe that she can even get him off? Number 2, she's an inactive protagonist. Jimmy is doing all of the investigating, not her. But he's also not getting any wins. Okay? There should be small wins along the way that can prove Zaire's innocence, because that is what the goal has to be. I took the case. I need to get him off. How do I get him off? By proving his innocence. How do I prove his innocence? By investigating and finding some wins along the way. If you don't find any wins that show us that he could be innocent, we don't believe he's innocent. We don't believe you can get him off. We don't have a reason to invest. We don't have a reason to root. If along the way she realized there is no proof of innocence, then as a lawyer, her job would be to go to her brother-in-law, who is the ADA, and say, can we do a plea deal? Right? That could give her a complication. Things aren't going right on my side, so I have to change my tactic and try to see if I can help my client in another way. Lack of investigation. She's an inactive protagonist because she's not investigating. Her job is to go out there and find the information. What could she be doing? Interviewing the neighbors, interviewing the exes, interviewing the art gallery person. Instead, she's getting all of the information after the fact because either Jimmy is the person who talked to them or she's not the person who's actively seeking them out. They seek her out. So by the time she goes to see the art gallery owner, who should have been one of the first people on her list to see, that person sought her out. She didn't go looking for that person. So she's not even doing the investigative pieces so that she can actually prove his innocence. Her job is to figure out who else could be the culprit. If he didn't do it, or if this woman is alive and there was no murder at all, then she should be actively looking for this woman, not randomly running into her at a resort in the Dominican Republic, coincidentally, but actually seeking out. When we found out there's no birth certificate, no families looking for the girl, none of that, that should have taken her to Mexico herself to try to find clues that would then send her to the DR so that she can find this woman, not coincidentally. Or if you do believe that there's a body because there was blood, there was DNA, there was brain fragments, etc., then your job is to try to figure out who else could have done it. We need other culprits. That's how we're going to get to our misdirects. But because we had none, then we're stuck on Zaire the entire time. But no one's trying to prove him guilty because the ADA also isn't doing any investigating because we're not following that side of the case at all. And she's not doing any investigating. We're lacking a clear antagonist. It's not Zaire because she's helping Zaire. So he's an ally. She does not think he's guilty, I guess. So he's not the antagonist. The ADA is set up to be her antagonist because he is the person who stands in the way of her getting what she wants. What does she want? She wants to win the case. What does the ADA want? He wants to win the case. He even has stakes on winning the case because winning the case is going to help him in his mayoral campaign. He's our antagonist, but he is not in the film for the majority of it. He's not applying any kind of pressure. As I said before, we're not even following his side of the case. We're not hearing about it on the news. He's not doing any press conferences. He's not sending her any evidence that she needs to go over. He is absent from the film and then shows up in the third act when it falls all the way off the rails and becomes an antagonist for an entirely different reason that has nothing to do with this case and with his mayoral run. Sure, emotionally it could. We'll get there. But as far as getting into the courtroom and actually having to go toe to toe because you are my problem and I am yours, non-existent. So we don't have a clear antagonist, which takes us to, we don't really have many stakes. What does Mia lose if she doesn't win this case? Because she works at a law firm, which means she's on salary. Okay? So sure, she might get a bonus or something else if she wins the case and her husband isn't working right now. So, okay. But what does she lose if he did it? What does she lose if the ADA proves he did it, even if he didn't do it, but she loses the case? What does she lose by getting involved with him, right? As far as her job goes, we'll talk about emotionally what she loses or relationally what she loses. But as far as her job goes, what are the stakes of taking on this case? There seem to be none. And as we talked about, there are stakes as far as the family goes. But once they say to her, don't do this, and she says, I'm going to do it anyway, stakes leave. Pressure gone. Nothing changes in the family. No one's threatening her. Because we don't get to see the ADA actually running for mayor or doing anything like that, we don't see how her decision even affected him. The judge was like, yeah, y'all can go up against each other. And then we never see them go up against each other. So where are the stakes? It's not even life and death until it falls off the rails in Act 3. And we don't even understand why they want to kill Mia in the first place. So what are the stakes? What does Zaire lose or threaten by getting into a relationship with Mia, a sexual relationship? What does he gain by getting into a sexual relationship with her? That takes us to people are making unmotivated decisions.
The professional pen. The professional